What's up my loves, my name is Paige, this is Pages with Paige, and today we're going to be doing my September wrap up. Hello my darlings, welcome to this video. Today we're going to be talking through what I read in the month of September and how I'm feeling towards them. I am ecstatic with the amount that I read because I was not doing anything idiotic. I could just read for Magical Readathon. I did end up having to swap out 2 books that I had planned to read, do something a little bit shorter because I did not manage my time efficiently, but I still completed the Magical Readathon Alchemist Career for the last time. And next year I have graduated, I am a master or whatever it is, I have done it, and next year I can pick something with fucking less prompts, and I am ecstatic at this development. So we'll talk about the stats and then dive into the books. I also apologize, it is a beautiful sunny day outside, so the leaves of trees are doing things and my neighbours are out and about. So if there's any weird noises, yeah. In terms of stats, I read 15 books, which this is good. I read 5,346 pages, which I'm ecstatic with, which works out to be 356 pages per book and 178 pages per day. It was so nice not having to read 200 pages a day. I mean, some days I did. Some days I did not. I acquired 8 new books. My average rating was a 4.07. I listened to 49.5 hours, whereas in August this was 105. My ears finally had a break and I could actually listen to some YouTube instead of an audiobook. I read 1 classic, 8 fantasies, 1 horror, 1 manga, 1 non-fiction, 2 rom-coms and 1 thriller. I had 5 purely audiobooks, 1 pure ebook, 2 physical books and 7 physical audiobook combinations. I read 1 middle grade, 2 young adult, 1 new adult and 11 adult titles. 12 of these authors I had read from before and 3 of them were new to me. I had 3 3.5 stars, 4 4 stars, 8 4.5 stars, but no 5 stars. And this was a month where I really realized how my ratings have changed and how I feel towards books this year, because most of the last ones that I will talk about previously I would have given 5 stars, but looking at it more critically, even putting it through CAWPILE, really came out as a solid 4.5. It's really changed and I like it because it feels more accurate. I don't like it because I'm not having as many 5 stars. I'm still having a shit ton of 4.5s and I still have a fuck ton of 5 stars in comparison. Like, I think between those two that makes up half of my rating for this year. Yes, my 5 stars and my 4.5 stars do make up 50% of my rates, but there's a lot more skewing and a lot less of my purple, which are the 5 stars. So it's just interesting. I read 4 standalones. I continued in 6 series. I caught up on 4 and I finished 1. Did you hear that magical word? I didn't start a single fucker. I tried and couldn't finish it in the month, but not a single started. Just caught up and finished and continued. Marvelous! I read 1 book that was less than 100 pages, 2 in the 100s range, 6 in the 300s, 3 in the 500s, and 1 in the 600. Wow, reading those did not make sense for my brain just then. And I read 4 of my 2025 acquisitions, 2 that were just purely through Audible, 4 backlist titles, 4 from my library, and 1 other which was reading through the author's Substack. Those are the stats. Let's talk about the books. I'm just gonna put in the description box the breakdown of my CAWPILE rating, so then you can see this rating scale is from G from Book Roast, and I've been using it this year, which is I've found very, very helpful in being able to nuance out my ratings a little bit better. I will leave the collective score, so that is out of 70 for CAWPILE. You have 7 categories that you can rate out of 10, and then I will give the average of what that was, which will then be able to tell you what the star rating should be. I'll go for the first one, which is Hellsing Volume 5 by Kota Hirano. I gave this a 44 out of 70, which equates to a 6.2 when you average them out. So in CAWPILE's rating scale, that is a 3.5 stars for your 5-star scale. Those numbers will be in the description box for each of the books because brain. Gave this 3.5 stars. I don't know how I feel about this series because it's not a fun, light time. It's very dark. We are following Alucard, who is part of the Hellsing institution, and we've got vampires, we've got zombies, we've got ghouls, we've got so many different characters, and a villain that really, really, really enjoys the monologue. I'm not disliking the series. I enjoy the character aspects of it. I just find some of it to be very unnerving. And because I was trying to speed read this and the visuals are very not fun, it was a very interesting thing to pick up. I also have just really fallen out of love with vampires this year. No fault of anyone's except Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. So when it's graphic and gory, I'm just like, So I think this is also a reflection of me, but I do think that I bump it up in the rating scale because I get to talk to Ash about it and be like, hey, this is what's happening, and he's like, oh yeah, and he can then provide me with a little bit more of a discussion and just an in-depth look at what's going on. He is sort of my buffer for understanding this, because there is so much that happens and there is a lot of movement in the illustrations, which I have found that I really struggle to grasp because I see it, but I really struggle to take in what's actually happening. So he is excellent in that regard. So it's nice to be able to have a series that I can go to him and go, hey, I'm picking this up, do you want to talk about it? Because he loves it. He finds it so interesting and so fascinating. That's where it's like, I really like the characters, I like what's happening, but I'm also like, there's that slight disconnect for me. So I know that it's a good read. I might just not be the target demographic, which is why it's the 3.5 rating. Similarly, which I can't talk to Ash about, but I continue to persevere, is Purgatory by Dante, 3.5. Jesus Christ, this is an effort to get through these, but I'm not hating it anymore, which is weird. Like, I didn't hate it to begin with, but there was this element of comprehension that I was just like, I don't know how I feel about this, because there was a lot of name dropping in Hell. And I'm just like, I don't give a fuck about who these people are. I don't know. I don't care. I'm sure that it was relevant for your time. But for this, while they were moving through Purgatory, I actually could sink my teeth into it. I could understand it. There was still name dropping, but less name dropping. So I wasn't going, who the fuck is this person, every other page. There was just more discussion about, well, this is known for being the sermons of love from Virgil, which I find very fascinating. And yeah, I had little moments where it's like, what the fuck, who signed this bitch this? But also some of them, when reading it, it was just beautifully translated and it just flowed. So it was a really nice experience, but it's also a daunting experience. Like, this is not an easy read, and I'm not an academic. Like, I'd like to think that I am, but I'm not. It's fine. There's one singular brain cell that floats around up there every so often. So, you know, and it channeled all of its energy into understanding this, but it was fun. There were elements of it that I actually really enjoyed. I understood how we were traversing as well, which made a big difference, because moving through Purgatory, I was like, okay, I understand this structure, this layout. I know the rings of hell, you're just moving through the different rings, but brain got a little stuck. Whereas this, it was just like, here's this, here's this, here's this. And I was like, okay, I understand. We're in a more semi-linear fashion. I have Paradise left and I will have finished the Divine fucking Comedy. Good time, hard time. You really want to be dedicated to this to tackle this. I don't think it's just, you know, one you want to pick up for shits and gigs. It's also very heavy in Catholicism or Christianity, because that was Dante, which is a lot for someone that is not. But I appreciate it for what it has done. Next up, I have In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead, which I also gave a 3.5 stars. I nearly bumped this up to a 4-star because of the author chat. Ashley, we did this for the Season-a-thon Academy group book, and oh my god, chatting with Ashley was amazing. She was so lovely, she was so personable, she cares so much about her craft, which made this like a better rating for me. I didn't raise it because for me, my reading experience of it was a 3.5 stars. But honestly, if you can, I will leave it linked below if you want to go watch the interview if you've read this book. It was just so fun. Ashley was just so personable. But me and thrillers are a hard mix to come by anyway. They're not my usual genre, and I don't know, I think Amy loved it because it was really messy, where I was just sitting there going, I need everyone to go to fucking therapy and not a hypnotherapist and work on themselves, shall we? And so I'm going in with that perspective, which makes it a lot harder because that's not what they're meant to do. I did really like the dark academic setting. I liked how we were flicking back and forth between the timelines. I thought, sorry, there's a magpie death glaring me out the window. I thought that the way that Ashley crafted the dual timeline was really elegantly done, and they did say, like, you're sort of seeing how it evolves and you're looking at character by character, so hopefully that if you do predict the ending, you don't see the why. And I thought that was excellently done, because yeah, I didn't see it coming. I have found out that I don't like unlikable characters. I like morally grey characters. I still need to find them likable in some redeeming aspect, and the only person I liked in this was Cooper. So that was a choice. I still had a great time reading it, and I'm so glad that I got to do it and be part of the author chat, because that really was a highlight of my bookish year. Next up, we have an Encore of Roses by SD Gibson, which I gave 4 stars, which is impressive considering this was 14 pages. This is just following our people from the, what's it called? A Dowry of Blood, and just getting to see what happens after the fact, and I was very here for it. It was fun. It was well written. The characters felt true to form, and which is impressive because I can't remember A Dowry of Blood that well, but when I was reading it, I was like, yes, this feels like the characters. Like, this is perfection. It was a fun time. We had some character growth. We explored a few different dynamics. It was good. It was very, very good. Also very steamy. On the complete flip side of that, the next book I have is Silverborn by Jessica Townsend, which also came out as a 4 stars. This one was difficult for me because I don't know if I've just phased out of this kind of middle grade. I think it's a universal experience that a lot of people loved Nevermore when it first came out. We were excited to keep going, and then this got pushed back for completely valid reasons. But I have changed so much as a reader between reading this book and reading the 3rd book that I just don't know if this would have been higher if I had have read it a couple of years ago, because I'm in that transitionary stage. I do know that there are some middle grade that I still absolutely love and I'm still excited to pick up, but this was one that I was like, oh yeah, my approach towards children has drastically shifted in this time. And watching a 13-year-old go through the angst that she's going through, which is fair enough, 14-year-old, it's all valid. I just struggled to have as much sympathy, I think, also because of the situation that we're in. The one aspect that I adore about this series, with no qualms, is the found family aspect. And that took a backseat this book, and I think that's where it was like, oh no, this just wasn't my favorite, because the relationships that would build and that I absolutely adored were slightly fractured. And I didn't like that because I love them as a group, but I do also understand having to rebel against, you know, authority figures and figuring things out for yourself, especially when you have such big secrets. So it was interesting, and I liked where we ended it, so I will continue on with the series. But that's where I'm like, I had the thought that this could be a 5-star read, but that's why it's not. I still really enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. It was a fun read, and I love the magic in it. Like, her coming into her powers, fabulous. But just that found family aspect was the thing that I love, and we don't get it as much, so it's like, oh, okay. Next up, I have The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin, and I am thrilled at this, giving it a 4 stars. I don't think I enjoyed the 5th season as much as I thought I did. I definitely was way lost in it, and I think I rated it higher than I actually felt, because everyone's like, oh my god, it's such a brilliant book, and like, it is, but brain cell. She limited. This I found so much more accessible. Don't ask me why, I don't understand. It's still got that aspect of second person perspective, which I really enjoy. I think I just like second person perspective. I don't struggle to understand what's happening even in that tone, whereas I know some people really struggle with it because it pulls them out of the story. Whereas, I don't know, for me, I feel like I get more absorbed into it because I'm like, yeah, this is happening to me, and then I actually follow along. I know that's not accurate, but the mental gymnastics, yeah? And so I really enjoyed this. I liked our characters, I like where we were going. I didn't like the situation, but I like it, and I enjoyed it. I didn't feel like I was beating my brain against a brick wall, which I definitely felt with the 5th season. So I don't know what fucking magic happened in this in my brain, because I was very confident I was going to DNF this series, and the only reason I hadn't was because my best friend Jacqueline had gifted me this book, and I was like, oh no, I can't do that, I gotta give it a go. And lo and behold, I'm in it, I'm keen, I'm ready to read the third one. I didn't think I was gonna say those words, so I don't know what the fuck happened, but I'm not mad at it. Really, definitely not mad at it. Do I have any other explanations? No, because I really don't remember the 5th season enough, which is weird, because so easy to follow, but I don't remember a fucking second of the first one. Make it make sense? I can't. Anyway, I'm just going to put this confusing book down and be very happy that I gave it a 4 stars, because I've really enjoyed the characters, I understood the world, I understood where we were going. It made sense. Next up, I have The Hate Race by Maxine Vandenberg Clark, which I gave a 4.5 stars to. This broke me in some ways and gave me hope in others. This is just following Maxine's life as she grows up in Australia. It was a place that I was not overly familiar with, but I've definitely visited many a time. Oh my god, fucking people and racist bullshit is just so infuriating. Like the way that they were commenting about the descriptor is, oh, she's black, with a sneer. I can't, I hate people that are fucking assholes. And poor Maxine's experience with this, and the way that she just internalizes it, and the way that it then comes forth literally in physical issues, is nuts. But it was also very beautiful. It was exceptionally well written. I love Maxine's writing. Like, it is just so personable, and it is so eloquent with her writing as well. And I loved getting to hear like the way that you tell a story, and how she just continued to advocate for herself and stand up for what she believed was true. I absolutely witch cackled at the preschool scene where she stands up to a bully, and I just was like, yes, you go girl. And then, oh, as a previous educator, the way that the teachers responded, ooh, fucking The sad thing is, I want to say that I know that it's better, but I'm sure there are still teachers that out teaching now in Australia that aren't up to code on this, on how to treat people with basic respect. Infuriating. It also infuriates me because I do understand that our education system fails so many kids because they can't do anything about the bullying because it's just words. But the second you get aggressive back towards someone because you finally snapped your tether, you're the one that gets in trouble. Speaking from experience, speaking from hearing plenty of other stories, speaking of witnessing it, it's so frustrating because that's one of the reasons I gave up teaching, because I don't know how to fix that. It's stupid that we can't fucking reprimand the kids that are being little shits that they're showing from their parents' taught behaviors. It's not the fucking kids just being like, yeah, you know what, that's fine, I'm just gonna fucking call this person this because I can. No, it's learnt from somewhere, so I get it. But yes, it had me in my feelings. I felt a lot of rage. And I just definitely wanted to give Maxine, like mini her, a hug, and I wish that I could say that it's better now. I hope that it's marginally improved so that people don't have to feel unsafe walking the streets of Sydney, but I can't say that with confidence in it, which sucks. Very thought-provoking book, and very much appreciated it for that. Next up, I have Among the Burning Flowers by Samantha Shannon, which is the middle prequel to Priory of the Orange Tree. I don't remember enough about Priory, but I still gave this a 4.5. My memory of Priory is very historic, and I didn't remember who these characters were at all, so it was kind of refreshing just getting to go in and going, I have no idea who these fuckers are or why they're important. Oh yeah, that's ringing some sort of a bell. So it is a very accessible starting point for the Roots of Chaos series if you would like to start with this point before reading Priory. I know that Priory can be daunting and you might want some world building. This provides that. It'd help if I remember the rest of it to be able to tell you the context to make a more informed decision about it, but I don't. So this is where we're at. I'm waiting for Ash to read it to be able to then re-inform my brain of what the fuck happened and continue on. I'm still pissed. Priory was marketed as a standalone fantasy. Now we have more. We have a prequel and a prequel. We're getting a sequel, and I do believe we're getting another book somewhere in this world as well, which I like because I like Samantha Shannon's writing. She writes an excellently crafted book. But damn it! Why can't we just have a standalone fantasy that's a standalone fantasy? But I really enjoyed it. It was very atmospheric. The characterization of this is absolutely amazing. I do know that she picked one character that is only briefly mentioned and people like, we want to know more of them. I don't remember who that character was. I don't remember character names at the best of times, but we're following 3 different perspectives in this, and it does provide a bit more of the context and a little bit more world building for where we start Priory with. So if people found that it was too difficult to get into, maybe give this a go. If you do want to try and broach into the series, it is definitely more of a starting point than Priory itself, but completely up to you. Yeah, I'm just waiting for Ash to be like, hello, can you please remind me of why I need this? I do think I have put seed in my brain that whatever they write, I'm not going to read the next installment until everything's released, and then I'm just going to read it chronologically, and I think I will have an excellent time doing that. So there's that. But oh my god, beautiful, elegant. I do love this world. It is very fascinating with the wyverns, but like there's a lot that happens in this considering Priory. Next up, I have Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This is a fun one because I wanted to punch people in the face, but I also love this with every fiber of my soul. I gave this a 4.5. We were reading this for Bookstara, and I know that some people, Danielle, did not like this book. They were very cranky, and I fully understand why. I really appreciated Jacob's character. I thought that I was going to come out of here loving Bree because I loved her in the first book so much, but she has her own shit that she's going through, and it doesn't come out in the best of ways in this book. But Jacob's character was a fucking breath of fresh air. He is a socially anxious little potato, and I love him. He is just trying to do right by everyone, and he wants to do the best, but he's so anxious. Like, he's on medication, we see this. He's doing these different strategies to make himself be less anxious all the time, and Bree helps him with that. She can see straight out of the gate what she needs to do, and I think that's underrated in how much people with anxiety don't need it, but appreciate when it's offered for just understanding how they're like and just able to do it. It was a very interesting conversation about with his previous partner. She was like the life of the party, and so he could just be a wallflower while she was the front of house instead of, you know, catering to his. Or one scene that I really adored is he's going to a new location for Bree, and she sends him photos of where to park his car. It's like, here's all this information that you need to make it less anxious for you. And it's just those small gestures that I think people without anxiety don't realize how much people with anxiety appreciate it on a spiritually deep level. How much it goes to just make the whole experience better. Ash is not one for surprises. Surprising people is my love language, so we've had to communicate that. It was interesting seeing Jacob actually like start the conversation through letters to say, this is what I'm like, this is why I'm coming across the way that I am, and I'm sorry for that. He's learned how to communicate his own situation so that people can understand him, and then hopefully provide accommodations or supports that best suit for him. So that was just, I love that. I love that. Bree just had her own trauma, and seriously, I have full respect to her trauma. There is conversation of miscarriage in this. That's scary. It's real fucking scary. I was in the Bookstara chat. I'm like, fuck's sake, can someone just go to therapy? And then we get the backstory. I'm like, well, now I feel like a fucking bitch. Thanks. There is a lot of history that goes behind these characters. Abby Jimenez has just, she knows how to write the characters that I feel for, even if I'm also trying not to punch them in the face simultaneously, because they're just complex. They're not easy characters. They're very, very flawed, but they're so multifaceted, and it just feels so real, which is why I really appreciate it. Next up, I have Well Traveled by Jen DeLuca, and I am giving this a 4.5 stars because Jen DeLuca had to do some fucking serious legwork for me to actually get on board with our male love interest. I don't like our male love interest. He has been talked about in many books, and I was very much prepared to rip it to shreds. Our female love interest in this, Lulu, is fucking one of my favorite characters. She is absolutely fantastic, and seeing them together makes a lot of sense. There's able to start with a clean slate because she just gets to know him as he is rather than his reputation. So that was really refreshing, and it was really really interesting having those conversations of, yeah, you had an awkward conversation with this guy, but that doesn't mean that he's going to be like that all the time. You need to give them credit and second chances, and going to bat for him, which I'm surprised because I was really prepared to not like him, and then I really ended up liking them as a couple, and I think they're very nice. So I'm now caught up with the series. I think someone mentioned, it might have been Ren, that Gender Luke is going to be writing more, and I'll be curious to see who we get to follow in that. Very happy with this installment, and now caught up with the series. Then I have The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart, also giving this a 4.5 stars. I love Memphi. I love Memphi because he is beautiful and delightful, and just I need to hold him and squeeze him and love him forever. Memphi is not a human. Memphi is an animal companion that I just adore, but they are the shining star in the series for me, and my heart is not going to be okay. The world in this is just expertly done. Andrea Stewart knows how to write. The characters in this I just adore, even if I hate some of them, because why would I like them? But some of them, they're just, again, multifaceted characters, which this is what I mean. I don't have to like the characters, but I need them to be multifaceted in a way that I can get on board with. For Bone Shard Emperor, we're continuing on from the first book. The shit has gone down, and Lynn is trying to keep things under wraps whilst so many other things are happening, and I do feel like it was interesting having one of the perspectives in this. I don't feel like it offered much. It gave us some story for what was going on somewhere else and why it was coming to the front, rather than it just being whoop, surprise attack. But it was just an interesting perspective to be in, because I just had a lot of fun with this, and I really enjoy the magic. I really enjoy the world and getting to see so much of it, and just the characters are fantastic as well. Then I have What Stalks the Deep by T. Kingfisher, again 4.5. All of these are 4.5s. This was fun. I like Alex. They are fucking hilarious, but also seriously traumatized. I don't know what I would describe the creature as in this, but I liked it. It was cute. We are going to America in this version, which was really fun, getting to see how they travel, and then also just them like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. Can I go back home now? Fuck. And then they continue to do things, and the way that they were talking about the mining was really like eerie, but also accurate, and it was just so fascinating seeing that side of it, and I really enjoyed the creature that gets featured in this. Apologies for the angle change. I also don't know if this battery is going to hold out the entire time, so I'm going to talk fast. Apparently, if I don't have 27 books to talk about, I go off on tangents. So, getting back on track. The second last book I have is Katabasis by R.F. Kuang, which I gave 4.5 stars. And this book has been a journey for me, because I liked the Poppy War, but I realized I didn't love it. I wanted to love it more than I actually did. Again, with the whole unlikable characters needing something to, yeah, I realized that that was really just a sticking point for me with the Poppy War series, and Babel was just way too highbrow for my understanding. But this, I loved. Which, I get it, because so many people are saying this is a pretentious book. It is. But it is in the way that I absolutely fucking love, because it's taking the fucking piss on academia while showing how fucking smart R.F. Kuang is. You don't have to get the references. I think it will help your reading experience if you know some basis philosophy to hell, to death, to dying, to gods. In all forms of mythology, you will have a better time with it. But that doesn't mean that you can't read this. It's just when they're mentioning things like Dante, you might not know. I wasn't gonna fucking know Dante before February of this year. Like, this is just pure fucking chance that I happen to have read the thing that it is based around. It's not even based around, it's just mentioned as like one of the philosophies. And then it also mentioned The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot, which I read for Augustathon, which I wasn't going to ever pick up a T.S. Eliot, and here we are. And I read that poem, I'm like, I get it! So that was actually fucking delightful for me. Who would have thought? These characters are not, actually, I loved Peter. Like, for people saying that they don't like these characters, I get it, I understand. They're not the most fleshed out characters. They are literal hollow husks of themselves that have been trudged through academia life. There is nothing left in their spirit to hold them together. They are just there. But I loved Peter. Peter was, yeah. He reminded me of Peter Malak. You know, it's just he's there. He's doing his thing. Also really appreciate the disability rep in this for him as well. But Alice, she just, ooh, she was very relatable in very many painful ways. And just their journey through hell. I enjoyed seeing the different areas of how they talked about it. I like seeing the magic with the chalk and then how it grew into something so much more. I like seeing the different philosophy. I liked how they talked about what she was comfortable with. I liked that she ended up getting to see from her own cultural perspective at how to do shit, and I liked that she saw the truth. But it's a fucking journey to get there. It's a journey for anyone, and especially those in the trenches of academia. You don't see the truth. You don't see the heartache. You feel it, you know that it's happening to you, but if you just survive, it'll be fine. It was genius for me. I really appreciated it. I loved getting to just watch these characters fumble and fall and get back up and try again and look at things through so many different lenses to see what's going to be the right thing. And just the commentary on it fucking nailed. I loved it. And I get it. Not everyone's gonna love this. I know that a lot of people haven't enjoyed this because it didn't hit the right notes for them. But for me, oh, this was a fucking romp and I had a great time with it. But I do also appreciate the fact that it is very, very smart, and I don't think of myself as a smart person, right? One brain cell. But this, I could just go in and I knew enough about the world of academia and then the mythology of hell and death that I could just go in and enjoy it. It wasn't taxing for me to read, and everything sort of just made sense, but didn't make sense, but made sense, because hell's not supposed to make sense. That's the one thing I've fucking learned from the Divine Comedy is it's your interpretation of the situation. So have that. I do understand, I completely accept any criticisms. I understand people feeling like it is pretentious. I do. I completely understand that. I just get it. I get where that's coming from, and it's not a dig at people that don't get it. It's a dig at the world of pretentiousness. But I also respect that some people, they're not gonna vibe with that, and that's completely fine. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. This was such a good time for me. And I was very surprised because I was fully prepared to have another Babel instance where I was like, yeah, I'm just not smart enough for this. Yeah. You know, I don't understand what happened. Maybe there was a second brain cell floating around in my brain in September. I doubt it, but maybe. And then finally, my top book of September was Bloodhound by Tamora Pierce. I was buddy reading this with Jacqueline from Jaxie Jax Reads, who also gifted me the Obelisk Gate, so it was a very Jacqueline themed month. This is the second in the Becca Cooper series. This is a prequel series to The Song of the Lioness. We are following George's ancestors. If you know who that is, there you go. You don't have to know the Tall Tale universe to be able to start in here. It is actually quite accessible. It is also told in an epistolary format because it is Becca's diary as she's training up to be the cop of the world, essentially. And they are called dogs. It's great. I love it. Her powers are very interesting. I enjoyed getting to see a different area of this world as well, and where the mystery went with this. I don't think that it was the most well-plotted mystery, but I just loved Tamora Pierce's writing. It's so accessible. It's so fun. I just love being in the world with the dogs. I love seeing Becca come into herself more, and it's so hilarious because she is so fucking shy when she has to stand up and do public speaking. I'm like, girl, I can relate. Singular speaking, fine. Group, absolutely fucking not. Absolutely no. Recounting something that happened? Hell fucking nah. I ain't doing that shit even if I've read a book about it. I just love getting to see these strong female characters that just fucking... Tamora Pierce nails it every time with her female characters. They're different, but they all have this strong feminine power about them, which I love. And it's not even about the feminist power. They're not feministy books. It's just, well, Song of the Lionesses. She just fronts female characters and makes them badass bitches. And I love it! This was a lot of fun. Second book in the series, so I won't go into too much detail, but just know Becca is continuing on her journey of becoming the cops of this world, and mischief and mayhem ensues. This plus 6 others were the things that I read in the month of September. I usually do placeholders, but I am running out of books on my TBR to be able to search for their pages, so I'm just going back to having my usual stack. Whilst I didn't have any 5-star reads, I really did have a fantastic reading month, which is fabulous because getting to know more about what feels like a 5-star read for me has been really enlightening, and knowing that I still have authors that I love to read from, even if I don't have to give them 5 stars every time. Very nervous for the Katie Robert that's on my October TBR. But on that note, I am just ecstatic with what I read, how fun it was, and that I didn't have to read fucking over 250 pages a day. That was a nice nice break. Let me know in the comments, what did you end up reading in September? Did you have a 5-star read? How did it go? Tell me anything you want to let me know, and if you have any thoughts on these books, feel free to leave them in the comments down below as well. And if you like this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of this mess, feel free to subscribe. I'll hopefully see you on my next video or over on my Patreon. Bye!